Hi everybody, how are you? Oh, hang on, something. Okay, let's see. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Somebody tell me if you can hear me, because I'm at Layla and Lachlan's, and I'm making sure that everybody can hear me. And this should be there. That. All right, I'm going to go back to that. Might sound a little fuzzy, but it's what we got. Hi, everybody. How are you? Gosh, Madonna's here and Linda, yay, and Lupe. Oh my gosh, Lupe. I have Spanish to read tonight, so if I get pronunciation wrong, I apologize. You can, yeah, well, I try my best. Madonna, like I said. Parker, hi, Parker, yay. And Linda, oh goodness gracious. Yep, let's see. Anyway, from story and art, yeah, we're gonna get started tonight. And I only got art from a couple people, and I have not my regular setup. I am in the room in, it looks like, okay, I'm in our room at Annalena and Philip's house. I'm in Mesa. And we're just having a great time. And yesterday we had a big birthday party for Lachlan and all kinds of stuff, and it's hotter than all get out, and they're having dinner out there, and the kids couldn't wait anymore, so that's fine. I'm reading stories, and then I'll go have dinner after this. But I wanted to check in. There's Fatima. Oh, okay, so Fatima sent me a wonderful Facebook post of at the University of Michigan, where the bookstore was giving away free books for banned book weeks. I loved it. It was absolutely amazing. So that was very cool. That really kind of lifted my spirit. I've been able to talk to several people about banned book week and all the type of thing, and it's kind of coming to an end. And the lap over with Fat Bear Week. You know, Fat Bear Week still goes on. There's a couple more days. Well, tomorrow's the semi-final voting, and then the next day is finals. Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But it's been really interesting to talk to people about banned book week and how many, maybe it's just the company I keep, how many people are appalled by it. And that is really good to hear. And so anyway, yeah. Loud and clear. Lupe, thank you very much. Loud and clear. Yeah. All right. So tonight, we got a couple of pieces of art to share with you. And then, and you'll have to forgive me because it's all a little bit all in one and I'm bouncing back and forth. But you guys always forgive me and it's cool. So we'll go on here, and next we'll have show and tell, and that goes right. And I'm going to start out with this piece. This is a piece by Larry. He sent it to me. He said he took a bit of a break, but have been asked for this memoriam for Angie's cousin Barb, and this is a rocket, his rocket, an 8x10 watercolor. Isn't it gorgeous? I love this. Let's see if I can get camera B. There we go, over here. That he did. It's just such a great, I mean, that is just a beautiful memoriam to have for somebody of a beloved pet. Larry did a great job. I don't think he's here tonight, but it's Sunday. He's probably still at their property, maybe camping. But it is really a great piece. And he does so well with his watercolor. It's so nice to see. I love that. And I'm going to try, nope, that won't work. Let's do, hang on, window, sound, there they are. And we'll do a applause for him. Oh, those are loud. I hope they're not as loud in your ear as they are in mine. Holy Ned, that was big. Anyway, so that is Larry's. And next we have Tamara sent in a couple of pieces. And so she had some pieces, some photograph of a full moon a while back. And these are two different pieces. And she told me to put them side by side because when they kind of connected, it looked like an eyes looking. And so she had these, and she'd done some other ones, a full moon photograph. Really pretty. I like the way she took it through the light leaves there. And this one also. So she said, she didn't tell me how to connect them. And they, you know how sometimes they come in all different. This was, got that halo effect because the way she took it, you can sometimes get that. It's pretty cool. I like this one a lot. I think it would be a neat one to paint. So that was very cool. Hey, Larry, hi. We just showed your dog. Where did, oh my fiddle-dee-dee, where did they go? Where did my sound effects go? There they are. Oh, here, I have to move it over here. There we go. So this is for... Yeah, Larry, we just showed Rocket. It's so cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's nice. Really nice job. The colors, the look on the face, just so wonderful. Okay, and then this one, I have these photographs, and they're kind of, and I have them from Oaxaca, a couple of them to show you because it relates to the artwork that's in the book I'm reading tonight. And it's called Mixtec. Oh shoot, I'll tell you. Anyway, it's a certain style. It's a pre-Hispanic style based on Aztec art and Mayan art, and it's in certain regions of Mexico. And this was a mural painted in Oaxaca on a wall, and it was one of those things that you could walk along the sidewalk and take your picture in and amongst it. It was very cool. But this side view is very typical of this kind of artwork that we're going to see in the book tonight. And I had that one, and then I had this one. And this is the other type of art that I pulled it up because it had it in all kinds of places. In this background art, in here on the wall in the mural, in here how she's doing this really elaborate work on this jaguar and this painting and this particular kind of artwork. It really struck me with tonight's book. And so that's why I wanted to show you guys, because it's still is artwork that is still being done. Okay, so on we go, and let me do something here, you guys. I do. Oh, good. I have this guy's artwork up for you to see, so you can learn about him. And I'll go right here, because this is the artist and the illustrator and the author of tonight's book. And the book is called Separate is Never Equal. This is Duncan Tonatiuh. He's an award-winning author illustrator. He is both Mexican and American. He grew up in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, and graduated from Parsons School of Design and Eugene Lang College in New York City. His artwork is inspired by pre-Columbian art, particularly that of the Mixtec codices. That's what it was. His aim is to create images and stories that honor the past, but that are relevant to people, especially children nowadays. And pre-Hispanic Mixtec codices, I was reading about them. They're way back in like the 8th to 14th century. And there's only a few of these actually codices, book type things that have the writings on them that are still have survived, and they have really beautiful, specific kind of art, and it had a whole elaborate type of thing. But he went on and talked about it. But some of the images that on his things. Of his particular artwork, you'll see how it's like what I took that photograph of, and these are all from some of his books. It's a really interesting type of art, and he does a really good job with this book. So this is another book, though, that let's see if I can go back. Since tonight is like the last night of Banned Book Week, I thought I would read this one, and it is about a point in history. If you're familiar with U.S. history, and you probably all heard about Brown versus the Board of Education, a very impactful Supreme Court case in the 50s that outlawed segregation across the country. But that didn't come about just overnight, and that didn't come about without other things happening. And this is the story of probably the first thing that happened that started that off. And it's a wonderful book that tells the story of Sylvia Mendez and her family's fight for desegregation. And it's just beautiful, and it's a great historical retelling of something that's been kind of lost in our history, but actually made a huge impact. And so I'm going to get to the right spot if I can, and here we go. Yes, there it is. See, we're doing okay. You guys all doing okay? Yes. Yay. All right, let me get here now. All right, I've got it set so I can see kind of what the book looks like. Separate is never equal. Oh, I have one other thing I got to do because I got two of me there. Whew. There we go. Sylvia Mendez and Her Family's Fight for Desegregation by Duncan. I missed his name. Sylvia had on her black shoes. They were shiny, new. Her hair was perfectly parted in two long trenzas. It was her first day at the Westminster School. The halls were crowded with students. She was looking for her locker when a young white boy pointed at her and yelled, "Go back to the Mexican school. You don't belong here." For the rest of the day, Sylvia did not speak or introduce herself in her classes. She kept her head down when walking in the halls. When she got home that afternoon, she told her mom, Felicitas, what had happened. "I don't want to go to that school anymore. The kids are mean." "Sylvia," said her mother, "no sabes que por eso luchamos? Don't you know that is why we fought?" Three years earlier, in the summer of 1944, Sylvia and her brothers, Jerome and Gonzalo Jr., and their parents had moved from the crowded city of Santa Ana, California, to a farm in nearby Westminster. Her father, Gonzalo Mendez, had labored for years as a field worker, picking grapes and oranges. Now he was leasing a farm. He was going to be the boss. On their new farm, they were going to grow asparagus, chilies, and tomatoes. Just a sec. I'm trying to move something over so I can. I'm just going to check for comments. Oh, Angie's here. Okay. As the summer came to an end and the first day of school neared, Aunt Soledad drove Sylvia and her brothers and their cousins, Alice and Virginia, to the local public school on 17th Street so they could enroll. Sylvia was going to enter the 3rd grade. Gonzalo was going to enter 2nd, and Jerome 1st. What a handsome building, thought Sylvia as they pulled into the parking lot. Tall trees lined the street in front of the school. There was a playground with monkey bars and a red swing. When they walked into the school, they noticed that the hallways were spacious and clean. "I'm here to enroll the children in school," Aunt Soledad said when they arrived at the principal's office. The secretary gave Aunt Soledad 2 enrollment forms. 2. One for Alice and one for Virginia. But she did not give her enrollment forms for Sylvia and her brothers. "They cannot attend this school," said the secretary. "They must go to the Mexican school." Why do I have to go to the Mexican school? Sylvia wondered. She was not Mexican, she was American. She spoke perfect English. Her father was from Mexico, but he had become a U.S. citizen. Her mother was from Puerto Rico, which was a U.S. territory. Aunt Soledad was upset, but we all live in this part of town. Sylvia looked at her cousins. They had light skin and long auburn hair, and their last name was Vidiari. Their father was Mexican, but of French descent. Then she looked at her brothers and at her own hands and bare arms. She wondered, is it because we have brown skin and thick black hair and our last name is Mendez? "Rules are rules," said the secretary. "The Mendez children have to go to the Mexican school." "I will not enroll any of them then," said Aunt Soledad, and she stormed out of the office, taking Sylvia and the other children with her. When they arrived home, Aunt Soledad told Sylvia's father what had happened. Mr. Mendez told her not to worry. It had probably been a mistake. He would take care of it. He was a businessman, and he was used to dealing with people. This was the 40s, remember, 1944. The next day, Mr. Mendez met with Mr. Harris, the superintendent of Westminster School. Mr. Mendez explained that his family had just moved to a nearby farm. "The public school on 17th Street is the closest school to our house, and my children should attend it." "Your children must go to the Mexican school," said Mr. Harris. "But why?" asked Mr. Mendez. He was not given an answer other than, "That's how it's done." In the following days, Mr. Mendez met with Mr. Atkinson, the county superintendent, Mr. Harris's superior, and then with the school board, which oversaw all the schools in Orange County, but they all said the same thing. "Your children have to go to the Mexican school." "But why?" Mr. Mendez kept asking. No one would give him a satisfactory answer. That fall, Sylvia and her brothers had to attend Hoover Elementary, better known as the Mexican School, on Olive Street, in the city of Westminster. The building was a clapboard shack, and the halls were not spacious or clean. A cow pasture surrounded the school. The students had to eat their lunch outside, and flies would land on their food. There was an electric wire that surrounded the pasture to keep the cows in. If you touched it, you received a shock. The school did not have a playground, not even a swing. The Mendez family did not give up. Time and time again, Sylvia heard her father talk with the co-workers, friends, and other parents. "It's not fair that our kids have to go to an inferior school," he said. "It's not only the building that's a problem. The teachers at the school don't care about our children's education. They expect them to drop out by 8th grade. How will our children succeed and become doctors and lawyers and teachers?" Mr. Mendez created a group called the Parents Association of Mexican American Children. He tried to collect signatures for a petition to integrate schools so that all children, regardless of their skin color or background, could have the same opportunities. But every time he asked someone to sign the petition, he would get the same answers. "No queremos problemas." We don't want any problems. Many of the parents worked on farms owned by white families, and they feared that they would lose their jobs if they supported the petition. One day, a truck driver overheard Mr. Mendez trying to convince a worker to sign his petition. "You know," the truck driver said, "you could file a lawsuit." And the truck driver told Mr. Mendez about a lawyer named David Marcus, who had filed a lawsuit on behalf of people in San Bernardino and had helped them integrate the public pools there. At that time, not only were schools segregated, but also other public places as well, such as pools, parks, and movie theaters. Some businesses even had signs that read, "No dogs or Mexicans allowed." Mr. Mendez decided right then and there to hire Mr. Marcus, even if it meant having to spend all of his savings to do so. Over the next few months, Mr. Mendez and Mr. Marcus traveled all over Orange County looking for people who had experienced similar problems. Sylvia watched her father leave early in the morning, and sometimes she saw him come home in the evening, but often she only heard his footsteps when he got in late at night. While he was away, Sylvia's mother had to take care of the farm. Mrs. Mendez would get Sylvia and her brothers ready for school, and then she would go out to the fields. She started the irrigation system, drove the tractor, oversaw the workers, and solved any problems that arose. With the help of Mr. Marcus, Mr. Mendez found and talked with other families who were dealing with segregation. One of them was the Estrada family. Mr. Estrada had fought in World War II. He had risked his life next to Americans of all races and backgrounds, but when he returned to America from the war, he found that his children were not allowed to attend schools with white children. "Es una injusticia," said Mr. Mendez. "It is an injustice." The Estrada family joined with the Mendez case, and so did 3 more families. The families were from different school districts in Orange County: Westminster, where Sylvia lived, Garden Grove, El Moderna, and Santa Ana. Mr. Marcus wanted to show that the segregation of students affected not only Sylvia and her brothers, but more than 5,000 children in the public school system all over Orange County. On March 2nd, 1945, Mr. Marcus went to the courthouse and filed the lawsuit. The trial was held at a courthouse in Los Angeles. Sylvia and her family dressed in their best clothes and sat in the courtroom to listen. The hearing lasted 5 days. Each day, Mr. Marcus called to the stand parents from the different districts in Orange County and the superintendents from each district too. On the first day, Mr. Kent, the superintendent of the Garden Grove district, was questioned. He said that he sent children to the Mexican school to help them improve their English. "That is a lie," thought Sylvia. Her English was as good as the English of any of the children at Westminster School. "Do you give the children any tests?" asked Mr. Marcus. Mr. Kent claimed he did. "We do so by talking to them." "That is another lie." Sylvia wanted to yell. No one had questioned her. They rejected her from the Westminster School without asking her a thing. "For what other reasons do you send children to the Mexican school?" asked Mr. Marcus. And Sylvia and her family braced themselves to hear what Mr. Kent would say next. "For their social behavior, They need to learn cleanliness of mind, manner, and dress. They are not learning that at home. They have problems with lice, impetigo, and tuberculosis. They have generally dirty hands, face, neck, and ears. The Mendez family and others in the room stared at Mr. Kent in disbelief. What he was saying was not true. It was degrading. How many of the 292 children at the Mexican school are inferior to whites in personal hygiene? Asked Mr. Marcus. Oh, at least 75%. And in their scholastic ability? 75%. In what other aspects are they inferior? Oh, in their economic outlook, in their clothing, in their ability to take part in activities of the school. Do you believe that white students are superior to Mexicans in the respects that you mentioned? Yes. And is that one of the reasons they're being segregated? Yes. Time and again, Mr. Mendez had asked, "Why can't my children attend the Westminster School?" Now he had his answer. On the second day, Mr. Marcus called to the stand a 14-year-old student from the Mexican school in El Modena. Her name was Carol Torres. She spoke perfect English. It was clear that she had not been sent to the Mexican school because she had problems speaking the language, as the defense lawyers claimed. Mr. and Mrs. Mendez were questioned on the third and fourth day, and so was Mr. Harris, the superintendent of the Westminster School. Sylvia was not called to the stand, but she was ready to testify if they asked her. She tried looking her best every morning, and she practiced what she would answer. On the fifth and final day of the hearing, Mr. Marcus called to the stand 2 education specialists to explain why it was bad to segregate children into 2 different schools. Segregation tends to give an aura of inferiority. In order to have the people of the United States understand one another, it is necessary for them to live together, and the public school is one mechanism where all children of all people go, said one of them. And the judge nodded. He seemed to agree with them. Judge Paul McCormick took almost a year to give his decision. But when he did, he ruled in favor of the Mendez family. In his ruling, he said that public education must be open to all children by unified school association regardless of lineage. That meant that everyone must be allowed to attend school no matter what his or her race or background. The Mendez victory made newspaper headlines. Sylvia's family was ecstatic, but they did not have much time to celebrate because the school board appealed the case. That is, they asked for another trial. Sylvia and her family had to go to the state court in San Francisco to argue the case again. In the new trial, the Mendez family received support from the League of United Latin American Citizens, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the Japanese American Citizens League, and the American Jewish Congress, and other organizations. These groups sent letters with information relevant to the case and asked the judge to rule in favor of the Mendez family. Sylvia was amazed that people of different backgrounds and from different parts of the country who had never met her family were getting involved in the case and trying to help them. But her mother said, "Cuando la causa es justa, los demás te siguen." When you fight for justice, others will follow. On April 15th, 1947, the judges in the Court of Appeals in San Francisco ruled in favor of the Mendez family again. That June, Governor Earl Warren, remember that name, signed the law that said that all children of California were allowed to go to school together, regardless of race, ethnicity, or language. "So remember," said Sylvia's mother, We fought to make sure you could attend a good school and have equal opportunities. Sylvia thought long and hard about what her mother had said, and the next day she returned to the Westminster School. This time she did not listen to any whispers. She ignored the children who pointed at her and called her names. Instead, she held her head high. Her parents had fought not only for her and her brothers, but for all of their classmates. Looking around, she saw the other children were smiling at her. By the end of the day, she'd made a friend. And by the end of the school year, she had made many friends of different backgrounds. She knew that her family had fought for that. And that's the story there. This is a little bit hard to read because it's small for me to show you, but it said in the 1940s, the segregation based on race and natural or national origin was common throughout the United States. So the Mendez versus Westminster School District was paved the way for desegregation. Here it says. Let me see if I can get this to do a single column. Oh, 2 column? No, that's even smaller. Anyway, never mind. Close that. So, but what's interesting is that it went on to, so it says 2 people who played key roles in the Brown case and Brown versus the Board of Education had also been involved in the Mendez case, Thurgood Marshall and Earl Warren. As a member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, Marshall had sent friendly letters to the court to do this. He later would used several of the same arguments when he became a lawyer in the Brown case. And Earl Warren was the governor who signed it into the law, desegregation in schools in California, and after the Mendez case, and he later became a Chief Justice in the U.S. Supreme Court, and he presided over the Brown versus Board of Education case. It's just totally amazing how it all went on. The problem is that now it's saying that they went to court almost 70 years ago, but after their fight, but their fight is still relevant today. As the education specialties in the trial argued, the segregation of children creates feelings of superiority of one group and inferiority to another. We need to be able to interact and mingle to break those prejudices down. They're seeing more and more back to the segregation type of thing in schools, more separation, and unfortunately, it's still something that we have to fight for and fight against and stand up for. And I just thought that this was a beautiful book. The artwork not only was amazing, but I learned something new about that type of artwork, and I was fun to see that I had seen it in Oaxaca, but also learned something more about those fights that started out small and started out with just a small family that really just made a huge difference. I thought it was a pretty cool book. And yeah, it has made the banned book list in several places, unfortunately. So, yes, great reminder to be kind to all. It's like that taught calculus to the students, yes. Yeah. All right, you guys. Anyway, that's tonight's story. I hope you guys like it. I know it's usually Sunday Funnies but I really wanted to read this one in person to you rather than in a recording. I do have a recording for you Thursday because I'll be at Creator Camp in Boston, outside Boston at Amesbury with eCam doing that. But I'll be back next Sunday live because I'll be back here. And so Thursday I have a funny one for you all set. You should laugh. It's short, but it's funny. And I had a good time recording it for you. But tonight, I hope you enjoyed this book. It just is one of those that is a story that deserved to be told. And I know that this tribe of people, these are the kind of stories that you guys embrace, and somebody else will share with somebody else, and we'll keep standing up for these things so that everyone's included. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. High five to all. Let's see. And I'm just checking in. Yep, everybody's gotten here. I'm so glad you guys are all here. Linda's here. Madonna, Lupe is lurking. Larry and Angie are here. Peter's here. Madonna, Fatima's here. Yeah. Yay. Okay, you guys. I'm going to go head out and have dinner. And the Halloween craziness is in full force here at the house. They've got all kinds of amazing decorations, but so at least they're gonna wait till I'm done before they turn them on, because all kind of spooky kind of weirdness sounds. Anyway, until next time, you guys, give yourselves a high five. Yes. And as always, you fill my bucket by being here with me. I hope this filled yours a bit. And until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it is when you go look in the mirror. And I'll see you next time.